Hey, welcome to another radio video, and today we're continuing the FLDIGI tutorials and we're going to decode Morse code. The common name for Morse code on shortwave and on computer software on radios very often is CW. CW, which means continuous wave. So Morse code and CW are the same thing. Basically, we will be using now, hopefully, your hooked up FLDIGI software. Hopefully you have the cable, you hooked it up to your radio, and you're ready for decoding. So first thing you need to do, of course, is go into the settings on the upper left side of your FLDIGI, go into what's called HOP mode, which is operation mode. And there you will click the first one on the top, which is CW. That's what you want to do for now. Second of all, you'll need to find CW signals. Where do you find these signals? They're probably there 24 hours a day, a lot of spaces. There are two types of CW signals that are actually sent out. And the first one is handmade CW, or handmade Morse code. That's basically, most of the time, amateur radio operators using manual keys with their hands. And the second type is computer generated Morse code, or basically it's either a ham radio operator using a computer to generate the Morse code and he's hooked up that to his radio, so his radio sends out Morse code, or it could be utility stations in the utility bands that actually generate Morse code most of the time with computers. Now, to understand Morse code, basically a lot of people just use their head. They learn it, it's like a language, and they decode it in their head or by writing it down on a piece of paper. Now, one thing that computers have problem for decoding Morse code is the human sent Morse code type signal. Why? Because humans tend to be not to be constant. So when they're sending out the CW signal, they're actually varying the speed slightly. So computers, being machines that are very, very precise in their work, have difficulty adjusting to human sent Morse code signals. So that could be a little touchy at first. Computer generated are the best signals because computer generated Morse code basically is always very constant in speed, so computers understand it really well. So don't worry if the decoding is not the best. Keep in mind that it can be a human sent Morse code signal. One of the great signals where you can decode Morse code easily is the W1AW station. W1AW is an American station, and in North American evenings they actually have Morse code practice on weekdays. And this Morse code practice is a great way of actually learning how to decode Morse code on your computer, because it is computer generated, so it's always very precise in speed, and they have different speeds: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 words per minute, I believe. It's basically a Morse code lesson for anyone wanting to learn, but it's a great signal to actually test your Morse code decoding capabilities. When you get a Morse code signal, first of all, where do you find them? The best bet to find Morse code signals is at the beginning of amateur radio bands. If you're in the daytime, try 21 megahertz going up. You can try 18.068 going up. You can try 14 megahertz going up. If you're in the evening, 7 megahertz going up and 3.5 megahertz going up. basically in most of these bands, the first 100 kilohertz is a lot of Morse code. There are some digital modes and stuff mixed in, but most of the signals will be Morse code in that first 100 kilohertz region of the amateur radio bands. So these are the best places to find Morse code signals and test your skills at decoding the different types of signals. And once you have Morse code signals on your computer and you get kind of used to decoding them, then you can go around the bands, and every time you find a signal, a Morse code signal, just decode it with FLDIGI. FLDIGI is not the best software for decoding Morse code, but it is a good piece of software actually to learn how to use Morse code. There are some better options for decoding Morse code that are more specific also. They usually just decode Morse code, but they tend to have a better ability to actually adjust to human-made signals. So tune the band, choose one, find yourself Morse code signals. If you have a high-end receiver like I do, you have to put your receiver in CW mode. If you don't have CW on your radio, USB or LSB. And if you have a portable receiver, well, you'll have to just press that SSB button or that single sideband button, because that's how you'll hear the tones of the CW signals. Once you find a signal, so you'll tune around. So here are many signals. What you do, you have to check your software. When signals are sent out in Morse code, they send this little line of signal while they're being used. In FLDIGI, you've got that little red square, that when you move your mouse around, you see that you can place it anywhere on the display. What you want is that center line here on the square. You have to put it directly on one of the CW signals that you get. Once you're positioned on the right spot, usually FLDIGI does pretty much the rest. It's going to decode for you the different signals. So try to find something that's better to decode here, because there we go. Show a little more on my waterfall here. Now you can see the signal being decoded here. Now you see that the signal varies, so it's not a perfect decode. It has some problems. You can see the word great, and you see here that's a space. The T and the A is a space, which means that probably this person is hand sending basically manually Morse code signals, which makes the computer a little more difficult to decode. But slowly you'll get a great set. So lots of abbreviations in the amateur radio band also, so be careful. You might not understand it at first, but slowly you get used to the different signals. And very fun. CW here. Hi, HI means like kind of an acknowledgement if you want. So try yourself at different signals. The best is when someone's having a great conversation. If you you have a difficulty or you don't understand it that well, you can try it out, like I said, with W1AW, which is a great resource. If you want to have their schedule, you just go to just Google W1AW, and you will have their schedule and frequencies where you can decode their Morse code signals or CW signals, which are probably going to be much better, especially because they usually send out texts from different from the QST amateur radio magazine, so it's easier to decode probably than most amateur signals. So you see here we have some decoding, not the best at all, but it's still not bad. You see here YL at hospital, all, so you know you get bribes of this one because probably of the automatic speed that has difficulty in decoding, but you'll get the hang of it slowly. He says today the temperature is 22°C, so you have some information here, but depending on the type of signal you'll find, you'll get better decoding on some types of signals than others. If you get some CW signals that are sent by computer, is going to be even better. One of the best bets, like I said, is probably to have some automatically sent Morse code signals. So if you have difficulty understanding, try W1AW. This is a great way to actually learn it. They are in North America all evening with a great signal here in Eastern Coast, 3.581, I believe, 3581 kilohertz, and also you'll get them on virtually all amateur radio bands. I believe they transmit on all the amateur radio bands at the same time, the same lesson, so depending on where you are, you might catch another frequency with the tests. So this is how it goes. Like you see, and I think this is a great example, decoding is not always perfect and not always great, but it is something to look for. CW signals can be received at different speeds. You can adjust the speed manually if you want, but I would suggest for someone, if you're not really sure what's the speed of the CW signal, to keep it at the automatic pace where it's going to adjust itself to the Morse code signal speed by itself. The computer can do that. But in the case of a W1AW signal, for example, where you would have they tell you in advance what speed they are, you can actually change the speed to the one that matches the signal, the CW signal, which will really help in getting a better decoding of signals. So CW signal, the first type of signal that we're testing decoding capabilities today. Hopefully you're trying it out, having good success. You'll of course get used to these spaces after a while, because lots of those signals will come out like this, because a lot of the Morse code signals are actually sent manually. So hopefully you're playing around and you're enjoying yourself, and now decoding CW signal, which are the easy signals to decode at first. And remember, Morse code CW is not a digital mode, it's rather a form of communication that is one of the first modes that ever basically existed a very long time ago. So hopefully you are decoding and you're enjoying our videos, and if you do, please subscribe because you'll be informed when new videos are online. If you have any comments, questions, let us know. Maybe you're decoding some Morse code and are happy and or unable to. Try to explain in the comments section if you have some problems, and we'll try to find an answer to your question together. So thanks for watching, and hope that it gives you a little new way of actually enjoying your shortwave hobby. So this is the first decoding of Morse code signals with FLDIGI. Thanks for watching. 73.